Welcome back to Delta Green on the Myth Machine. That's rhymes. Welcome to the stream, adventurers! I am Mikael Hellstrom, your friendly handler. In this game, it's called Handler. On these epic role-playing journeys. Before we dive in, follow Twitch here to get all the secret information from ACEL and stay updated on live adventures, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, also Myth Machine, and ring the bell for the same reason, because we need to keep the conspiracy going, right? So grab your dice, settle in, and let's do some stuff. This show is rated R because it's cosmic horror. Delta Green is the, shall we say, slightly more grown-up cousin of Call of Cthulhu. It hits differently. And if you thought Call of Cthulhu was grey and horrifying, then yeah, Delta Green is more, I think. Though I don't have too many agents who die normally in my games. Sometimes that's because I roll terribly for the monsters, though. Maybe not the game's fault. Who is with me today? Report for duty, players.
I'm here.
Yes, so introduce yourself to the audience.
I play Cora Phryne Talbot. She is a FBI agent who usually works in manufacturing disasters to determine if they were attacks, but she's just here for some reason.
Yeah, things... Yeah, they sent her for manpower shortage reasons. That's what we're going with. Yep. Alright, who's next?
Hello, I am Darian, playing Brian Fenton, an occultist turned FBI agent turned, oh my god, this stuff might actually be real.
Yeah, cries a little bit to himself, probably. Yeah, and who is the third person that we have? Because one of our players are sick today. Unfortunately, Dr. Alex Blair couldn't make it. So we'll have to cover her downtime on Discord later. But Carol, what are you playing?
Carol, playing Bridget DeLuca, computer scientist, and great with a shotgun.
Yes, clearly. That is how it turned out last time. When, yeah, shotguns were used. And I have a feeling DeLuca will remind people of that greatness every once in a while.
Absolutely.
I saved you all. Which is true. Yeah, we are on... So in this session, we're primarily going to do downtimey things. I don't think we'll have time for much other things, because we're making a big leap of time from March of 1991 until summer of 1994. And we're going to cover that in some detail, because we're laying the groundwork here for messing up these characters' completely normal lives. And as such, they have their lives, their careers, they do things, and everything is fine and dandy, seemingly, until that time when they get called together on a case file again. They're going to be sent again on a case file together after probably not having seen each other for a good long while, because I don't think these guys will intersect a whole lot in normal day-to-day FBI duties. Fenton is working on his things with the Occult. Talbot is in counterterrorism, really, for the most part, I would say, right? The types of sabotage that you would be inspecting, I would think that would either be having to do with counterterrorism or organized crime, because mafia and drug cartels can also leave bombs here and there, right? And Luca, you're sitting behind a computer a whole lot, so I'm not sure that these guys will actually be working together a whole lot over the next few years. What do you guys think?
Cora might send a few letters, but aside from that, no contact really.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Fenton, DeLuca?
Yeah. Would probably be just like in passing in the office. Probably about it.
Provided that they're even in the same office, right? Because the FBI have field offices all across the U.S., and who knows if you stay in the same place. You were in Quantico, but maybe you get sent elsewhere. There's a lot of places where you might see work done.
That's
And,
actually one of my questions. Are we in DC or are we out in Quantico?
either, right? Quantico and DC is not terribly far from each other, but yet, after having graduated from Quantico, you would definitely be mostly in DC, at least initially. It really depends on which departments and which field offices you will be associated with. So it could be anything. I'm fine with anything here, and I'm gonna leave this very much open to your own interpretations of where you want your characters to go. I will say that at the end of March, because like when we wrapped up the case file of Still Waters, it was mid-March 1991, and 2 weeks later the work is still going on down there because there's so copious amounts of material to sift through. It might be that Dr. Blair actually stays there for a while to date piles and piles of bone remains. She is the doctor after all. And it seems like a logical thing for her to do. So I'm just going to put her right down there in Davy's Landing, working her butt off, just trying to establish when did all this stuff happen, and who died when, and so on and so forth. And that's probably going to take a while, I think, for her to establish. I'm thinking that, Fenton, you are interested in the books, aren't you?
I was, but for the first chunk of time, I think Fenton might also be doing a stay on the case, considering that you mentioned that task force might have been set up, the FBI would have been part of with this, and he is with the Violent Crimes Division of the FBI, so it makes sense to keep him on it for a while in those early times.
Doesn't it? Let's keep him on it as well. I am not sure that, because, I mean, for a while it remains an active case because there's clearly a killer somewhere, but we don't know where the killer is. Like in so many other cases, it's a hot pursuit, trying to track down this obviously violent offender. Since it's not a kidnapping case, it doesn't fall under FBI jurisdiction. So, and since all this criminality is within Mississippi, it's going to be either Davis Landing Municipal Police, like Chief Morgan, or state police, because Chief Morgan is completely out of resource. He can't deal with this himself. He has a dozen deputies who do traffic tickets and arrest drunk people on payday. That's what they do. And maybe there's a meth lab or two, maybe, but that's about it. This is completely out of the reservation for them. They will invite FBI to help them out. Serial killer, that's scary stuff, and certainly 4 so gruesome murders. The whole community is absolutely shattered, absolutely shocked, and they will be very grateful to have your help as long as possible. But as the months go by, and there's no sign of the prime suspect, Scott Corso, apparently, the case will eventually go cold. We know this already. See, we can see into the future because it's a downtime. We can jump between different time. Bridget DeLuca, however, I don't know if you're gonna be someone who's gonna stay down there. What would the computer scientist do in a moist swamp without proper equipment?
Nope, I'm going back to DC.
Yeah, she's noping out. That's what we're doing here. We're noping out. That makes sense. Let's put DeLuca in DC. See, I have the map, and I'm just putting down things here. And because you can do all the things from DC, and then you can send them. There's a new thing you can do. It's absolutely newfangled in 1991, brand new. You can send them electronic mails.
Oh, I do it constantly.
It's true. They can hook themselves up to a little box called a modem that sounds like and then they can receive mail electronically. It's quite amazing. The future
already
is
have
here.
7 different emails. I'm like, this is for my personal use. This is for my work use. This is because I wanted it.
What about Cora Frine Talbot? Also not really in her typical wheelhouse, is it? There's not been any explosions here, really? Any...
No, not really. This is both out of my pay grade and not in my resume. Either I leave of my own or they send me somewhere else.
Yep,
So
that seems reasonable.
yeah, I'd say that if we had to put her somewhere on the map where Pennsylvania and West Virginia meet,
That's a pretty good
on the
thought,
Ohio
then.
side.
I just did it. Look at that. Well, okay, maybe a little bit further north, but yeah.
Yeah, just because she moves around all over the United States whenever there is an incident, but if she needs to put down a permanent address, it's going to be Finley James's house.
Oh. If she's moving around, I'm going to be a cruel man and say that if she's one of those people who is moving around all of the US, then she's definitely in the staff pool in DC headquarters. And
Okay.
much like the behavioral science unit, right? But I don't know if you're going to belong to counterterrorism or to organized crime. Organized crime is huge right now because of the John Gotti trial. So,
I'd say more of counterterrorism
all right.
as well. I'd say with the dissolution of the USSR, there's a bit of tension and worry with the
Yeah, that's another
energy.
file. That's another file. You have counterterrorism. People are worried that the nukes will end up in terrorist hands. Now, the USSR has not actually dissolved yet. It's all of... it's 6 months left until it does.
Forgive my young misunderstanding of history.
No, it's fine. It's the era, right? A lot of things are happening in Eastern Europe, and like right now, there's like the whole. There's been I think the protests in the Baltic states have already started. Like the Baltic states are forming like human chains, and they want to get the Soviet troops out and declare independence, and the whole Eastern Europe is just a rocky place right now. FBI has, aside from counterterrorism and anti-organized crime, there is also the counterintelligence unit. So CIA is, of course, the spies of the United States who are not allowed to operate inside the US. They operate outside to spy on other countries to make sure of the security of the United States. But to stop spies from outside the US to come into the US, that's the FBI's work at this stage. I don't know if we're fearing that foreign spies might infiltrate the US to plant some bombs somewhere. That wasn't really a big fear, but you never know how the FBI might rationalize. If you want to place Talbot in any of those 3 divisions, I'm fine either way.
I'd say counterterrorism, just because she tends to get sent in after the place is already blown up.
Yep,
So...
that makes sense. That makes sense. And
yeah,
that's absolutely logical. Very good then. We have the agents placed in various places, and we're going to start with Q1, which means that we'll get to April of 1991. How about that? All right, let's see who we're going to start with. I'm not going to start with Alex Blair because she's not here. Brian Fenton at the crime scene. That's you, exactly. At the crime scene. There's going to be a whole bunch of interesting stuff for you. I mean, you love these books, and these weeks you can spend reading weird books. The Delirious Image du Monde of Gautier de Metz, or the Sadissimus Triumphatus of Joseph Glanville, or the terrible Demonolatreia of Remigus, or the public works of Paracelsus. There's all sorts of mystic things here. There's also the book that you find in one of those crates at the Rosethorn Mansion called Monsters and Their Kind in very old-fashioned style. It is not a book that has been recently published. That's how it's spelled. It is, in fact, an old book. Let's see now. There we go. It's from the 16th century. Author unknown.
They spelled kind wrong.
What was that?
They spelled kind wrong. No wonder this didn't get republished.
I was gonna make that joke.
Yeah. What's your... You're good with English, aren't you? So... The good news is, it's in English. You can read it. Yay. The bad news is, do you really want to?
Yes.
In the first quarter, while he's working the case, he's got to focus on the joint task force, trying to track down this killer until it burns out. And he'll mostly just read parts of the library he can in his spare time, but that's more of side activities during this first quarter.
Yeah, now that we're looking at the home activities question, right? That's... There we go. I need to open the book here. There are. At home. So for each of these, I'm assuming... For each of these quarters, I'm assuming that you are doing your work. You're still with the FBI, you're doing the work, and so on and so forth. But then, of course, there are, like, your personal pursuits. And that could be working more than you should, which makes your family grumpy, and other pursuits. So I've already posted those to the Discord channel, so you can see those there. But that's where you can go into stay on the case or study the unnatural, for example, because Fenton has access to a tome like that. So yeah, let's have a look at your first pursuit here.
All right.
Also, I need... Wow, why are you so strong with this? This is bad.
I don't know how to take that.
This is bad for my bad guys. Could you roll a thing? I'm gonna roll a thing for you. Okay then, that's interesting. Did you want to study the unnatural? That was the question for your quarter thing. Or do we want to do something else here? You have the... I'm just saying that you are the one who can do that because the others don't have access to horrifying books from these particular
So the
libraries.
first quarter... I said the first quarter I wanted to actually use the stay on the case one to help improve sanity from the last operation.
Okay.
See, sometimes it make most sense to do that at the beginning when it was still fresh right off that case. But I'm definitely taking the book and the tablet home with me to DC, and then I'm going to be going into some naughty and natural stuff.
I see. Why don't we stay... So we're staying on the case. For Fenton's first thing is... Stay on the case. I'm just counting here so I can remember who's doing what. I should just do it like this. There we go. Okay, so let's roll for that, shall we? Staying on the case. This reduces one bond other than a bond for Delta Green by 1 as you let other responsibilities lapse. So
that's going to be the Arcana Society. I'm too busy to be focusing on all their stuff.
Yeah, you guys
and I'm away from
lame.
DC.
You guys are so lame because you're not, like, actually doing the real stuff that I'm doing. Is that the feeling?
No, they're based in DC at Georgetown University, and he just doesn't have time to join in on the calls. This is before we have Zoom, Teams, etc.
Absolutely, yeah.
He can't really attend the meetings. He's over in Mississippi.
Yeah, they're going to be phone calls every once in a while when they're calling down to check on you and things like that, and just what's going on, and oh man, we had such a great meeting last time. I wish you were here. We were talking about... And it's going to turn out to be something really interesting. And I have a feeling you'll be like, I feel left out now.
Oh, definitely. I wish I was back home, but at the same time, what he saw down here is really still sticking with him. He's trying to figure that out, work through it.
No doubt. Then, I'm rolling secretly for your agent. And either way... You gain a D6 minus 3 sanity in coming to terms with what happened. Why don't you roll a D6 minus 3 and hope that you roll above a 3? Because you might even lose... Nope! Lose 2 sanity points.
Damn, that did not work out the way I hoped it would.
That was not working out the way. Yeah, you're obsessing over it self-destructively because you lost some sanity here. So
That's a
Blair
mistake.
is going to notice how you're just feverishly digging into things, and you're going to end up with a conspiracy map, one of those with the red threads everywhere.
So I should be down to 70.
I put you to 75, yeah, 75.
Oh, I thought it was lower before. Okay, cool.
I feel that Brian Fenton's situation is that he's just creating his conspiracy maps and going, oh, but if that is the case, then maybe this is, and maybe that is connected to this, and
The more he's trying to rationalize it, just the more it doesn't make sense, and it's really terrifying him.
But one after the other, he runs into the same dead ends. It's making him so frustrated. Probably that's going to take a little bit of his sanity as well. Just the fact that he can't see. On one level, he wants to say that he has seen things beyond the normal, beyond those things. They were not supposed to be, right? And the answer to those things should be in the books, but are they? And how do we connect that to, wait, who? How do you put down in your FBI report that the killers were two enormous monstrosities that disappeared into smoke and then were never seen again?
Yeah, it's just becoming more and more frustrating as he can't rationalize it. It just doesn't make sense now. He's starting to sound crazy, and
Yep, clearly.
And then he spent so many years studying monsters, and these are actual monsters. As it all actually, these things are real. It's not just folklore history.
Exactly, they're definitely real. Damn it.
Which now just makes him sound even more insane when he tries to justify it. Drives him more mad. It's just self-fulfilling.
Bridget and Luca, it's going great for Fenton down in Mississippi, while you are in a cushy office in Washington. And you have computers, and new computers too. What is the latest computer in 1991? I don't remember.
I don't know, but I'm excited for when the real colorful Apple ones come out.
Okay, the fastest PC at the end of 1991, 486. 8486DX was 50 megahertz. Yeah. Boom. 486s are on the way. You're still working with a 386. I remember those days. Yep. And unfortunately, FBI is not very quick at picking up the whole computer wizardy things, so...
But fortunately, that is exactly why Bridget DeLuca has developed her bureaucracy skills. She knows which paperwork to fill out to get her what she wants.
I'm sure she does. Here's the question then for you. What do we want to do during this quarter here, these 3 spring months? Do we want to fulfill responsibilities, go back to nature, establish a new bond, go to therapy, improve a skill or a stat? Maybe pursue one of your personal motivations, or have special training in something, or stay on the case? You cannot study the unnatural, unfortunately, because you don't have anything to study. Like, you need to have some materials for that, and you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, fulfilling responsibilities towards Mom or your younger brother Sebastian.
I go with filling responsibilities.
Oh, you don't
But-
actually need
and-
to, because... go ahead.
In her head, like, she's just seen horrifying creatures that may or may not just, like, still be hanging out somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she immediately got on a plane and came back to her home, which, while they don't live there, she has multiple tiny nieces and nephews running around in it constantly.
Yeah.
And she's, what if it follows me? What if it follows? I have to move out.
That makes sense.
If it follows me here, it'll eat my niece, and then I'll have to burn the world down. So I have to move out.
That makes sense. So we're gonna move out. In terms of mechanics, you don't actually have to do a fulfill responsibilities because that's a way to raise up a bond, and your bonds are already at their maximum. Unless you want to improve your charisma score, in which case you can raise your bonds later on. But
That'll work.
or you could go to therapy. That's the thing you can do too. Did you want to raise your charisma or go to therapy?
Raise my charisma.
Okay, let's go. We're going to go to a leadership course, right? Or maybe just socializing more than ever with your family and everything. Yeah. Why don't we roll your stat times 5, which is your charisma. So you go to the statistics and you click the dice there. And you need to fail it. Which is not easy because your charisma is high, but an attempt is made. Nope. You're already so charming that it's hard to develop that even further, sadly. But that is how Bridget DeLuca is spending her 3 months here. What is then Cora Talbot doing? You are working on something completely different, and possibly on your sanity, I don't know, because you're like 5 points away from your breaking point, and there was some mad moments, weren't there?
Yeah. I assume she's just put it down to she was tired, she hadn't slept in several days, so the monsters, she could have probably just saw the portrait and hallucinated all of it, but the bones were real. The bones, the corpses, like all of that was real. There's news of it, so she goes to therapy to talk about that.
I'm actually going to be even worse to you, and this I've done to Blair as well. Because of the great shock of seeing those monsters, and because of how many sanity points you lost seeing those monsters, it was like 7 or 8, wasn't it? It was a lot.
Something like that.
I've given you 2 points of unnatural, which means that you can never unsee what you saw down there. You can never close your mind to it again. You know that the world is a place. You've just opened the door ajar ever so slightly to the greater world of cosmic horrors. There are monsters that go bump in the night. And it's not a hallucination. You know for a fact they're out there. Which is probably going to give you a headache and nightmares and everything associated with that. Your perspective on the world has changed forever. 2 points of unnatural is just enough to crack your mind that much without actually being terribly useful, because if you're all against the skill, it's how big is the chance of you actually gaining some useful information from it. Yeah. You said
she
therapy?
just doesn't want to think about it. Yeah, therapy.
For you, you also have... No, your bonds are also at the max, so... Therapy, here we go. Are we telling the truth to your therapist?
I am telling my therapist about the bones and the corpses.
Okay, so...
I have seen so many bones and corpses. It is not good for me.
Right. So we're not describing...
The Eldritch Horrors.
The Eldritch Horrors.
Nope.
No.
I'm not thinking about that right now.
That makes sense. All right, let's roll a luck check. Let's see how your therapist does here. Nope. That's unfortunate.
Aww.
Yeah. You don't fumble, so that's fine. Okay then. So you're gonna lose a bond to someone.
Like the whole bond or just a point?
A point. Yeah, lose a point in a bond. Yeah. Finley, Talbot, Connor.
I'd say Connor.
Very well.
Move to Florida. You're never here. I don't want to hear your thoughts about my life.
Exactly. What? No, I'm your mom.
I don't care. You never acted like one.
That's just rude, Slam. Speaking of losing points in bonds. Oh, we have things to do for you, Bridget DeLuca. We haven't improved your skills yet, have we? Because we missed doing that. Bridget DeLuca, if you go down on your skills tab and click on the button Apply Skill Improvements, you will get some of those. Improvements, that is. Nice. We get +2, human +4. That's nice. And some navigate and unarmed combat. You never failed the firearms check. Also, one of your bond scores, because you were working on improving your charisma, one of your bond scores will in fact go down. Is it Erin, Tony DeLuca, or Sebastian that will go down by 1 step? What was that?
I'm going to say Aaron.
Erin. Mom is calling you and wondering what is going on in your life. She's leaving messages on your answering machine and you're not calling back.
Come on, Mom. I just tried to move out. Leave me alone.
That's no
For your own
reason
good.
to not talk to your mama.
I'm becoming independent.
But I'm your mom. You
I
can hear it from there.
Had
can't you?
dinner at your house 3 times this week. You're fine.
We used to talk every day. I just don't feel like I know you anymore. She had to go there, didn't she?
There's
All
no
right.
winning this argument.
There's no winning. What happened you are all asking yourselves, what happened in the United States of America in this particular time period? Let's see now. We had the Sacramento hostage crisis. 4 gunmen took 41 people hostage at Good Guys Electronics in Sacramento, California. Wisconsin butter fire in Madison? I have no idea what that is. A riot in Washington, D.C. in the Mount Pleasant section after there's a police shooting, so there's a riot. Oh, Queen Elizabeth II becomes the first British monarch to address the United States Congress. The Stanley Cup goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins. You're very interested in the Stanley Cup, right?
Especially when it's in
Absolutely.
Pittsburgh.
11-year-old JC Lee Dugard is kidnapped in June as she finished the school for the day. Nobody's found her yet, and it's going to take almost 20 years. Chicago Bulls win their first NBA championship, defending the LA Lakers. Let's see now. Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog is released in the US.
Yes, I have it.
Of course you do. Of course you do. And then there's a 5.6 earthquake in greater Los Angeles. So, yeah.
This is why I live on the East Coast.
Yes, quite. This was the year when... Let's see now. Here we go. No, not deaths. That's not what I want. I want to see... Oh, it's not going to be in release order there. Is it? Okay. All the cool movies of 1991. Silence of the Lambs. Being FBI agents, you're all going, aren't you? Particularly since you were
Absolutely.
just dealing with a serial killer.
Absolutely. And then I email everybody and a long dissertation about the movie and how we're better than Clarice.
Of course you are. Of course you
I feel like Cora would just respond with a thumbs up.
are.
I'm like, how'd she learn how to do emojis?
Right?
Just a picture.
It's just a... No, you don't know how long time it took to upload pictures in those days. You don't upload pictures. It takes forever. It's like an hour to upload a picture. It's a nightmare.
She uploads a picture. I gain respect for her.
All right. It's basically a computer science role just to upload a picture in 1991. Oh, Backdraft. Everybody remembers the classic firefighter movie? No? Nobody? Okay.
Yes.
It was huge.
I know what you're talking about, but I hate to tell you, you might be old.
I might be. Yes. I didn't actually watch it in theaters, I think. I watched it on VHS later on. Yeah. I'm that old. But I did watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in theaters. That I did. Did any of your characters?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll say so.
With Kevin Costner as Robin Hood. A guy who can't even speak English. But it was
Shut up. He was amazing.
It was a big movie year, 1991. Later that summer, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. So everybody now is saying, I'll be back. I'm thinking about horrifying murder robots.
And
Which is-
I've decided I must befriend the computers so they don't kill me.
That makes sense, yeah. Anybody into Hot Shots? The comedy with Charlie Sheen? It's one
Though
of those
I
spoof
like
things.
part two.
Yeah, that hasn't come out again. Hasn't come out again. Yet. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. The sixth Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I don't know if anybody cares about that. This is in September now.
I feel like Cora just shows up to movie theaters at random times.
That makes sense.
That's what I do in real life.
I've now decided that Sebastian is like a big movie buff, and Bridget goes and sees movies with him.
Oh. Yeah, well, when he has time. Yeah, oh, yeah, your Bond, Sebastian. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, of course. Would he like The Fisher King with Robin Williams? Also a really big
Probably.
movie in those days. How about the music? What kind of music taste might you all have? Let's see now here. January to March. So many albums come out. There's too many. Motorhead, Sting, The Soul Cages, Gloria Estefan, Front 242, Jesus Jones with Doubt, the B-52s. Queen comes out with Innuendo. It's the last album with Freddie Mercury because he dies shortly afterwards. The Tragically Hip. Morrissey. The KLF. I was a big fan of the KLF in those days. For some reason. I don't remember now. Vanilla Ice. Oh my god. He was... We have some painful memories of MTV in those days. I'm just saying. REM. Yeah, with Out of Time. Eurythmics. Greatest Hits. Oh, Roxette with Joyride. That was their new album. That was... I was in Sweden, so it was huge. Sepultura, Lenny Kravitz, Mama Said. That was a huge album. Massive Attack. Maybe a bit more niche music. But I was a big fan. Still am. What else? Grateful Dead. Alanis Morissette was their debut album, in fact. Michael Bolton. Oh my god. EMF. Okay, that was also a English alternative in those days. De La Soul, Ice-T, Paula Abdul. Seal? Debut album? Anybody remember him? Smashing Pumpkins debut album? Kraftwerk? Frank Zappa? So much stuff here. Are you guys even keeping up with the times? You're not even young anymore, most of you. Fenton is 29, so he might be keeping up a bit, but DeLuca is... Okay, 27 too, yeah. And 28. Okay, so you're all keeping up.
I wake up with back pain. I'm no longer one of the youth.
No, you're still one of the youth. You get to complain about back pain in your mid-30s. Maybe. Mid-40s, more likely. That didn't ring a bell for anyone at all in terms of music? Not Green Day?
You recognize all the music. I don't listen to music like
listen to
in
music.
real life.
Okay.
So
Oh, fair enough.
I recognize a couple of the bands, but I don't really listen to a whole lot of them, unfortunately. So
Metallica, Cypress Hill. So many big up and coming bands that debut in those days. Blur, Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam became huge. All right. So what are we doing in the first sort of the fall term here? Fenton, you have tried to study here. I should also say that. Yeah, John Gotti is getting convicted, of course. So the whole organized crime section is going to be on a wound down in the FBI. Fenton, your second term here in 1991.
all right, now as the case is itself losing momentum and everything, Fenton, still not satisfied with the lack of answers, is going to turn to the DP book that he acquired.
Yeah, that was the Monsters and Their Kind, right?
There was that, and there was also the tablet he found. That was in Sumerian, I think you said.
Yes, I did.
I couldn't translate it.
Yes.
But now I have the power of months and a dictionary.
Yes, indeed. Now, and a dictionary, yes. The tablet will not qualify towards a natural, I'm afraid, because it's occult, though, so I'm actually going to give you the skill check in occult. Why not, for reading that? That's fine with me. And then you have the scary book, don't you?
Yeah, skeleton book. Damn, I cannot figure out this tablet. Hello?
All right, we are... Let's see now. When you're studying the unnatural, you are basically getting more... You're getting unnatural skill. Not... You don't have to roll for occult on this one. Because you're going to read a scary book. That will open your mind to horrible things. And... that it definitely will. In so many ways. I've added some unnatural now to you.
The understatement.
Yeah. You're gonna lose some points to a bond here. D4 points, in fact.
All right, and it's going to be the guy, because as I'm obsessing more and more about this stuff, he's not happy with it. You know, I need to let the case go, get rid of this stuff, just move on.
No, yeah, exactly. Stop it now.
All right, you said on D4?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Do 1 D4, not 2 D4s, please. Thank you.
Good luck to you. Apparently,
Wow, yeah.
Mr. Fairfield is okay with you reading some of these things. There's going to be the lowered eyebrows. You should be careful with things like that. How much do you tell him about this book? Fenton must be a bit obsessed with it. Just a little bit.
Sure, he tells him this isn't really Guy's thing. He knows Fenton got his degree in this field and has always had an interest in this field. They've talked about stuff in the past, but he probably takes it all with a grain of salt. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Until he reads them. until he reads this book, which is
No, Fenton wouldn't show him the book. He would just talk to him about some of it.
It's gonna be like a sideways tangential reference.
Yeah.
Well then, let's see.
He's not gonna actually show Guy. I don't think Guy would be interested in reading the book or seeing the book. Period.
Why don't you roll a d8 for sanity loss?
All right.
Good for you. You didn't actually trigger another horrifying moment when you go temporarily insane, but the pictures in your mind that forms from reading this and just trying to follow the madness of the writing. It's written sometimes in the 16th century, obviously. It is in English. It's hard to get through because it's Old English, like Shakespearean English. And there's so many topics here. All sorts of discussions of demons and otherworldly beings. And it's a jumble, so it's hard to keep track of where one starts and where another ends. But apparently it also contains a whole set of, shall we say, recipes for how to contact such entities from beyond.
Yeah, this book would be so popular in all the wrong ways at the Arcanum Society.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. That could well be the case. While Fenton is going crazy, slowly learning about the truths of this world, that there are things out there, you will realize, for example, Fenton, as you're reading this book, that the things in the basement of the Rosethorn mansion, the statue that was impounded, the weird Buddha with the bat wings folded on the back, it's one of those things that apparently actually exist in this world and just waits for the right moment to rise and consume everyone. And the things you saw in the basement were real, so...
Yeah, Fenton is officially gone from just the theory of all the occults and everything being a thing to, oh my god, all this really is real. And it is both fascinating him and terrifying him all at the same time.
As it should. Then, Bridget DeLuca, what are you doing while you're not watching Terminator 2?
Just looked at my thing and I need more sanity.
Fair enough. Yeah, that could be the case, because you're several points away from your breaking point. But yes, going to therapy could be an idea, yeah? That's the best way of getting sanity. But the question here is, what are you going to tell the therapist? How much are you going to reveal to the therapist?
Listen, she's going to walk in intending to talk to the therapist about everything that happened in Mississippi and immediately get sidetracked by the latest argument with her mom.
Very well then. So the therapy is really going to deal more about your family relationships than the actually horrible things that created the trauma in the first place. That's going to help. Roll a luck check. Let's see if you are going to get some sanity back here from your therapy. You are! Good for you. A 20. All right. You are going to get a D4 sanity. Woohoo! 1 sanity point back. The max you could get is like your 5 times power. No. You're pretty close to that anyway. As you are going to therapy here, you're gonna neglect a bond. Which one? Is it Mom again?
Yes.
Of course it is. You never call. I haven't seen you for a week. We were gonna have supper, and then you called and said you couldn't make it again because what? Therapy? You could talk to me. I'm your therapist. I'm your mom.
Mom, I let you let Tony move in with me. I'm living with my brother now instead of being independent. What else do you want from me?
A conversation for one? How was your day?
We talked yesterday.
Yeah, but just rescheduling like that, it's hurtful.
Okay, listen, okay, so I talked to my therapist about it.
Oh no, you're not bringing in your therapist to talk about your mom. Click.
I was gonna talk about actual things, but apparently arguing with you is the only thing I think about.
But so stop arguing with me then. The perfect
You make
solution.
spaghetti.
She has the perfect solution to everything. All right, Cora Frine Talbot. What are you doing?
I'm assuming based on the time and that I'm still employed with the FBI,
Yep.
I'd assume that Cora gets called away to the Hamlet chicken fire that happened that time.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm in Louisiana. She's in Louisiana now. It is not a good time. She's going to therapist. I can't stop seeing bodies. Why did I pick this job?
Because it's the serve and protect. Yeah, roll another therapy. Roll another therapy then. Let's see. This is going great. That's a luck check, yes, because you're not. That one worked. A D4 sanity comes back to you. Yay.
Save and protect.
Ooh, nice.
Yay.
You can max go up to 80, so also you're not exhausted anymore.
Yay.
We have 73. Nice job.
Yay.
It's
You're
a
so
while
much
back
saner
to
than me.
80, but you're working on it. Who is gonna? Is it Mom? Who the bond score is gonna go down to Mom again? Is that it?
Yeah, she's really mad that her mom just left to go live in Florida.
Look, you can't blame letter if you're not on the phone. I don't know. Are you on the phone or are you on letters?
I'd say call.
Look, you can't blame me, sweetie. Your dad was being hopeless. This is a new age. I'm making my own life. I don't have to be dependent on that slob. Your dad.
But you left me behind!
You're in DC, sweetie. If you can get yourself an FBI job here in Florida, we would be close again. It would be great.
12!
Yeah, but it's different now, isn't it? I'm so proud of you, honey. You're growing up to become a strong, independent woman who doesn't need any
I just slammed the phone down on the receiver.
That went great, you guys. That went great, yeah. Yeah. Now comes the dissolution of the Soviet Union in September. So, there you go. It's done. You won the Cold War, and from now on, the world will be a happy place with no problems. The final big totalitarian bloc has been collapsing, and freedom and democracy will come everywhere, right?
Yeah, democracy.
Yay! In Sandy, Utah, several patients are held hostage in the Alta View Hospital hostage incident. And Nirvana releases their most popular album, Nevermind.
Two equally important things.
What was that?
Two equally important things.
Yes, absolutely. They're listed right after each other because it's back to back, basically. There's going to be a presidential race next year. Let's see. Clarence Thomas is being interviewed as a Supreme Court candidate, and I see no problem with his appointment ever in the history of ever. He is being appointed in October to the Supreme Court. Yeah. That is probably not going to bring any problems in the future. George Hennard guns down 24 people in Killeen, Texas before committing suicide. Oakland Hills firestorm. And a University of Iowa shooting as well. Okay. You have lots of things like that going on in the US apparently. Oh, in November, Magic Johnson announces that he has HIV, so his NBA career is over. Beauty and the Beast comes out in November, the Walt Disney movie. Nobody's gonna see that? No?
Absolutely. I've got nieces.
You got nieces, you're definitely going to see it. Freddie Mercury dies as well. So Beauty and the Beast is going to be one of the highest grossing movies of the year. There you have it.
Did it beat Terminator 2?
No, nobody could do that. It was like the third highest. Terminator 2 was the highest, Robin Hood was the second, and Beauty and the Beast was the third. Addams Family, Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's the big Christmas movie. And Hook. Yeah. Cape Fear. Big things. Yeah, we're coming into the end of 1991. Fenton, you have spent some time running down the case and reading horrible tomes. What is your third activity going to be?
Assuming by this point in time, he's probably back in DC. Things have probably fizzled out with the case.
Yep.
Staying in this nosedive spiral, he's gonna keep up not reading the scary book. That's already done its damage. He's read that. Good time. He's not just gonna spend his time raising a skill with the occult, reading more and more occult text, reading more stuff on the growing interweb.
I'm gonna throw you one interesting curveball now that you're gonna get back to DC. Your amazing tome, Monsters and Their Kind, gone. Just gone. You have no idea where it got to. Absolutely no idea. In fact, roll an intelligence check for me.
Okay. Where do I find... Oh, is it 6? It is.
Yep. Over time, you will come to the disturbing realization that you have a bit of missing time in your mind. You remember coming back, you remember unpacking, but you can't remember taking that book, which was so important to you, out of the bookshelf. And yet, it's no longer there.
All I'm going to say is I'm not casting a spell, so don't hurt my sanity, but I'm going to start putting what I think are protective sigils on my door.
That makes sense. Unfortunately, none of the protective sigils that you know anything about might actually be related to the real unnatural. You should try.
It's the thought that counts.
It is a thought that counts.
Otherwise, yeah, so I'll be studying the occults, just regular old occults.
Roll the occult skill and fail, please.
I can do this. I am a failure.
You are
Yes!
a failure. Look at that. You gain a D10 to your occult skill.
All right.
Ooh.
I'll
wow.
take it. Man.
Even click to apply the skill improvements thing that I gave you for cool books that you've been reading.
Oh, okay.
Well, a 70 even it is right now.
I will take it.
Yeah, Fenton is just absolutely digging himself into that. And since you're digging yourself into that, then which bond is going to go down one step?
Laura, actually. We're living together, and she has the same kind of interest in such things. She's part of the Arcana Society, too, but she's concerned that maybe it's getting a bit out of hand, especially when I started drawing the sigils on my door.
Yeah, I can see that before me now. Laura is like, seriously, what is this? Is this a house you guys own, or is it an apartment?
It's townhome that we probably own. Or at least that we're renting, but splitting it.
If it's a rental, she's definitely going to see. This is going to come out of our deposit, man. Seriously.
I would say we own it, because we've probably been living in it since we started at George Washington early on.
You have your young professionals, so you have... It's the early 1990s. Housing is much cheaper than it is in the 2020s.
Yeah, the two was put together, I'm sure by now we could have afforded to purchase it.
And then in 30 years, when you're like old and older than me even, And you can block all the initiatives that will build new housing in the area and make the millennials and Gen Z people very angry.
That was oddly specific.
Ah, yes. It's great. Yeah, so she's definitely worried about what you're doing there. With hey, you need to get out a little bit. Maybe we should go down to the Mexican place and just have a good meal, talk about... I have some really interesting findings here.
Hey, yeah. Hey, let me finish this chapter, and then for sure, I'll be around 10 minutes, and he's not going to come out.
Deep sigh. Bridget DeLuca, how is your therapy going? Honestly, you only need 3 more points to be back at your maximum sanity.
And I'm extra concerned when I just saw my team members out here with their 70 sanities. You're like,
right?
so much
just
higher
sad.
than mine. I'm so close to going insane at any given moment.
Nah, it's fine. Look, your breaking point is a 44. You have like miles of sanity points, like 8 before you. Anyway. So what are we doing this time? Your mom certainly wants you to improve your bonds, right? It's 2 steps down from maximum. That can't be allowed to stand.
We hit the Christmas season. She's knitting adorable scarves and hats and mittens for her mom and her nieces and her nephews and her brothers.
Oh, is this your fulfill responsibilities quarter then? Because it is Christmas season now.
Yes.
All right. Then I will ask you to roll a sanity check. And it succeeds, barely. But it works. You will increase a bond of a D6. Which probably means that you will have mended your bond with Erin completely. Yes, indeed. Mom and you are completely reconciled. It's gonna be the best Christmas in forever, right? You're singing
Show up
Christmas
at the house
carols.
with a bunch of yarn and
Yeah. And maybe you're even wrapping the presents in yarn just to make it special for everybody. Different colored yarn, no doubt.
special, annoying, same thing.
Right. And Dad is going to be the Santa this year.
Oh, absolutely, it's tradition.
Right? You can't not do it. How do Italians celebrate Christmas? I have no idea.
Food.
Yeah, that makes sense. Lots of food. And not just all your nieces and siblings. It's all your cousins and their kids too. It's 50 people in one space that just...
Listen, we're pretty certain everybody's related, but we stopped asking questions years ago. People just are here now,
Yeah.
and we feed them.
And there's a lot of Merry Christmas, everyone. And it's great. Look at that. The Soviet Union collapsed. You've won. It's gonna be great. Next year is gonna be great. The future is bright for everyone in the U.S. Right? It's great. We don't need to have all those troops in Europe anymore. It's fine.
The Star Trek movie just came out.
A Star
and
Trek
that's
movie came out.
technology, and I love it.
Right? Oh, DeLuca is the Trekkie of the group.
That's the
That makes
future.
sense. Yeah. Too bad
I'm
there
like,
will never be another
I'm
Star
gonna-
Wars movie, right? Because the saga ended with the Return of the Jedi, so it's over. But
That is the end.
that was the end, exactly.
There'll
Clearly,
never be any more.
there will never be any more. You just have to settle for comic books and Timothy Zahn books. Yeah. Cora Talbot, how is your Christmas going?
She probably just does the usual of sending Finley and his daughter some gifts through the mail with a not really half-hearted, but a best as she can hearted, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, here's $50, go spend it at the mall or something.
You're obviously invited to both Mom's and Dad's Christmases, so there's no conflict there, is there?
Absolutely none. She probably just goes to her dad's, though, because Finley's nearby, and he's the only person she feels like she can really talk to about just the bad side of her life and job.
If she's talking about horrible monsters in a basement, he will think she's a wacko. But if she's
Not
talking
horrible.
about big
Yeah.
piles of dead bodies and bones,
Yeah.
then yeah, he's just gonna give her a big hug.
Yeah, it's mostly just the dead bodies.
Mm.
Her mom would suggest that she just marry a rich guy and stop worrying about it. Her dad would
Right.
say just get a real job in a factory, so Finley's the only one that just doesn't judge.
Because a real job is something when you are hammering something or turning a wrench, not when you're sitting
Yeah.
behind a desk and typing on a typewriter or these newfangled computer thingies. That's just
Yeah.
weird. Yeah. There is not a PC in the house, is there?
No.
What would I want to be the computer, says Mr. Talbot. What are you doing this thing here? Are we doing... Because you have... The only bond you have low to right now is your mom. Don't know if you want to repair that yet. Are we looking at sanity again? More
therapy, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Luck roll. You can
Yay.
get 7 more sanity points. To fortify yourself completely. Not today! That is a critical failure on a therapy check. Isn't that interesting?
Oh no.
Oh, yes. You lose 1 sanity point.
Is that all?
That is all, in fact.
Okay, good.
Yep. Do-do-do-do.
Thought I was gonna get sent to a mental hospital or
Nope,
something.
nope, not this time. Nope. Okay, I guess we're dropping another point to your mom here.
Yep, just
Yep.
years of rage is finally coming out over the span of months.
That is how your PTSD is, just like your snappiness and all your aggression and all your frustrations and all of that you got at Davy's Landing is just at her. And
Yeah.
you don't even realize it yourself.
Yeah, like I'm just done hiding how mad I am.
Mm-hmm. Yep. My friends, 1991 is over, which means that some of you are a bit older than you were when we started. For example, oh, okay, he's gonna turn 30 next year, Mr. Fenton will. Talbot, have you turned older now? Because we are... Well, we'll calculate all of that later, I guess. Because, yeah, your birthday is December 19th, so, you're gonna turn 30 next year. Biological clock ticking there, Talbot. Biological clock ticking.
Not happening.
But it is happening. Okay, this year is amazing, with only good news for everyone.
No, I'm getting older and I hate it.
The president right now is George H.W. Bush, of course. That was the time when he fell violently ill at a state dinner and vomited into the lap of Prime Minister Kiichi Miyazawa. And then he fainted.
Nice.
Yep, that was a bit of a moment.
Well been there.
All right. Oh, speaking of brutal crimes, 12-year-old Shanda Sharer is tortured and burned to death by 4 teenage girls in Madison, Indiana. Speaking of fun, this is just chronological order here in January. Super Bowl 26. Who's watching the Super Bowl? Nobody? No jocks here? No jocks
Listen, I
in this
didn't
group.
want to, but I am.
It's the Redskins against the Buffalo Bills. Because we have team names that are absolutely not offensive at all.
It's okay. About 20 minutes into the thing, solely to annoy my brother, I am rooting aggressively for the Buffalo Bills.
But you're supposed to be a Redskins fan because you're in the DC area. What are you doing?
I must make him suffer.
You must make him suffer. You're right. Serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer is convicted to life in prison in February. Also, there are primaries. We don't care too much about that because I don't think your characters are at all interested in politics. Ross Perot is going to run as an independent for president. U.S. Air Flight 405 from New York to Cleveland crashes into Flushing Bay, killing 21 out of 51. The 64th Academy Awards, hosted by Billy Crystal. Silence of the Lambs wins 5 awards, including Best Picture and Best Director.
Still a better redheaded FBI agent than Clarice.
Yes, definitely. Ooh, 500,000 people march in Washington, D.C. in April in support of abortion rights in advance of oral arguments in the case of Planned Parenthood versus Casey. I'm sure there will never be another occasion where Americans will have to do anything like that again in the future. It's this issue is settled now. Settled law, right? Or not. April 6th, Microsoft releases Windows 3.1. DeLuca is happy, or what?
New computer stuff.
Yes. It's new computer
Make
stuff.
grubby hands on it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, all your grubby hands on it. A new space shuttle lands safely in May. The 27th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is enacted. Okay. Don't even know what that is. Jay Leno becomes the new host of The Tonight Show after Johnny Carson retires. I'm sure you're all...
Man has opinions.
Yeah. Jay Leno is... He was big. He was huge. Oh, a federal grand jury indicts Caspar Weinberger for his role in covering up the Iran-Contra affair. What else? John Gotti is sentenced to life in prison in June. Yeah, and that's about what I have on that particular list. What do I have on other lists here? Oh, Randy... What is it? Randy Weaver surrenders to FBI agents after an 11-day standoff at Ruby Ridge. I think that's later that year. Saul Wackler, the Chief Justice of the... The FBI arrests Saul Wackler, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of New York, on charges of extortion and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. And the FBI unsuccessfully lobbies Congress to outlaw the use of DES encryption chips in digitized cellular phones. The DES encryption chip provides anyone with secure communications, which is really annoying if you're in SIGINT, isn't it? And what else do we have here? Okay, release date. Medicine Man, Wayne's World, Basic Instinct, Lethal Weapon 3, Patriot Games, Batman Returns. Is anyone watching any of this stuff?
Fenton would be. Fenton likes to just go to movies for fun.
It's weird.
Like, even if it's not something in particular you would care to see, just go pick a random movie, watch it.
That makes sense. Fenton is back in Washington this new year of 1992 when everything is groovy and grunge is really in. And what is he doing with his time, the winter quarter of the year?
You know, the best thing about obsessions is that they never let you go. However, he's learned all these new things that he can now share with his best friends. He's not going to share anything that's going to rip apart people's minds, because that'd be a bit too crazy. But I'm going to do the, what is it?
Fulfill responsibilities?
Yes, with the Arcana Society.
Okay,
He's
so
attending the
actually
meetings more often, being more involved.
He's attending it. He's coming to the meetings. They'll be like, "Oh man, you've been away for all 6 months. Man, we're so glad to have you." Roll sanity.
Yeah.
Let's see if you've you have a lot of legitimate new occult stuff that you can bring to the table. Unfortunately, you failed. Nothing special happens. I guess they are like, we've moved on from those discussions now, and we have to keep up here, Fenton. We're talking about these things now. You don't lose any bonds to anything though, so it's all good.
On failure, I add once to bond, right?
Let's see now. On success, critical success adds a 1 sanity. A fumble means some disastrous conflict. But no, a failure? I don't think a failure does anything.
I've got the Agent Handbook open right now on page 78.
Yeah.
And it says failure adds 1 to the bond. A fumble means some disastrous conflict.
Do you have a later edition than I have? Huh.
I don't know. Let me see if I can take a picture.
Because I have... Yeah, that must be updated by something. Because I don't have that in my text. Interesting.
Yeah, but let me see where it is. Storyteller? That's not a picture. When I figure out how to take a screenshot, I'll be happy to send it to you.
Okay, we add 1 point to the Arcanum Society. They are not as impressed as they could have been, but it's something. While he is doing a forge into the Arcanum Society, what are we doing with Bridget DeLuca here and her Windows 3.1?
Playing so much with that computer, but
Are you going to improve your computer science skill then?
probably, unless
More therapy.
my first role was to see if I could increase my charisma.
Yes, it was.
My first little thing. Is it possible to try to increase my power so I can increase my sanity max?
Yep, it is.
That is what I would like to do.
You're going to do meditation to strengthen your self-discipline.
Yes. My therapist suggested it.
Yep, that might work. Yeah, meditation is a good thing. Yeah, let's warm. Roll your power and fail.
Rude.
Nope.
God, I'm so good at meditating.
You're very good at meditating. Yeah. Unfortunately, you succeeded. So, yeah. Meanwhile, I guess your bond with who is gonna go down 1 step?
Tony. Listen, he moved in, and now I can't meditate right. It's his fault, obviously.
What? I'm not keeping the music too loud. You're keeping the music too loud. You're not keeping the music loud enough. How old is Tony? Oh, he's
younger.
3 now.
You're a baby. You're an infant. Shut up.
And then it's that time when he drags home all his drunk friends. Because he's still an undergrad and he's partying before his big exams.
Listen, I thought for a second somebody was going to spill beer on my computer, and I almost set the room on fire.
They're like, chill! Oh man, your big sister's a bitch! Yeah.
Just look at him like, I own guns.
Stare. I'm sure Talbot has a much better time with her family, right?
It is therapy upon therapy.
Alright then, let's go! Therapy, luck check again! It works! Look at you go! D4 sanity back. Ba-boom! The only thing you do is go to your therapist. That makes sense. When you've gone through the stuff that...
Yeah.
Look at that, 75. This is going well. Of course, there's someone in your family you don't see a lot of. Is it Mom again?
Yep.
You haven't called me in a month. I keep
I'm
sending.
busy.
It's like, did you like your present? And she's sent you, I don't know, it's gonna be something golden, like a golden necklace with some diamonds in them that are like super rich because her husband is rich. And did you like the necklace I sent you?
Nice.
Because
Thanks.
she's trying to buy your affection with expensive things.
Yeah. I imagine her mom is also like, you're 30, why don't you have kids?
Oh,
And-
yeah. So when are you going to give me some grandkids? Yeah.
When I find someone I can stand.
Finley is nice, isn't he? But he's such a slob and he's poor. You need to find someone rich. You know, if you come down here, I can introduce you. And have you met your stepdad yet? And you know,
I'd
your
rather
stepdad-
marry Finley.
Your stepdad can introduce you to all the people. There's some really eligible bachelors in Florida. You wouldn't have to work a day more.
I'd rather marry Finley.
Why? He's just a grease monkey in a small town in a... Okay, that didn't go over well, did it?
No. I think at this point she just sets the receiver down and just goes about her day instead of just hanging up.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Very sadly. Spring is coming, you guys! Isn't it lovely? Oh, okay, that's how spring was coming. Fenton, what are we doing with spring now that the Arcanum Society was, shall we say, not terribly impressed by your work, but a little bit impressed?
He doesn't care because one of his big motivations was studying the unknown and mysteries of the world, blah, blah, blah. And he's just finding a lot of enjoyment in he's feeling alive, feeling very thrilled from these new discoveries. As terrifying as they are, they're also exciting. And I'm going to do the personal motivation one. Just after this year of just obsessing into this, it's having some positive impact as well.
That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, you're delving into your learning more about the hidden world. So, absolutely. Roll a sanity check. That works. You get a sanity point.
Yep, just the one.
Just the one. But it's a sanity point.
It sure is.
You count it, right? Every point matters.
That's
You're
right.
You're 13 points away from your power cap. But, yeah. How far are you? Yeah, you're 4 points away from your breaking point. You might need some more sanity points before this downtime is over. What bond is going to deteriorate here?
What was that?
What bond is going to deteriorate?
I think it's going to be my sister, actually. I'm not talking to her as much, and she's really getting concerned, and she really thinks that maybe I should speak to someone.
Yes, naturally she thinks so. She's 22 now.
We're all the family that either has, other than Uncle Guy.
Yeah.
But she's growing concerned. I'm not speaking as much when I am. I'm always talking about these strange topics. And she came from Arkham too. She's used to nothing weird at all ever happening, but she's afraid that, like our grandpa, I'm starting to get a bit obsessed. Grandpa was into some pretty weird stuff too. That's what started all this for Fenton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. And she will be there, and she comes by your house one day and just knocks on the door. And is what's going on here? Can we talk? How are you doing? Just wanted to check up on my brother. Is she even living in the same area as you are? Or is this her field trip?
But she may not be in Georgetown. Oh, actually, no. She does live in Georgetown because she lives on campus. We live out in the Eastern Markets, right?
So yeah, there's the knock on the door because she's concerned, and she wants to know how things are going, and she's gonna ask a lot of questions of Laura because she knows how tight you guys are, and none of it is gonna make her feel better about your state of mind.
Yeah, and Fenton will get a bit snappy with her too. She keeps pushing, and then he starts making references with Grandpa. But he's also going to start to reflect that maybe things are getting a bit out of hand.
Maybe you need to go to therapy, bro.
and he promises he'll think about it.
You should. You really should. We care about you, Brian. We really do. Intervention. It's a sister and BFF intervention. I can recommend someone. Business card provided.
He nods a bit and go, okay, look, things are a bit busy right now with this case, but when it's over, I promise I'll look into it, okay? I promise.
And then there will be another case. We know how this goes. Well, Bridget DeLuca, is there another case for you? In spring?
What part of is have we hit May?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, hey, that's birthday time.
Oh, it is. Happy birthday to you. 29 years old.
And
And still not dating anyone, says Erin. Does she know? She knows about Sebastian, right? What about Seb? You should really try and... He's a nice guy, isn't he? About your age? What is Seb's job now? Is he anywhere near DC at all?
yeah, he's in DC. He lives in the apartment across the hall from Tony and Bridget now. That's why she bought that apartment. And she just looks at her mom like, dating? Sebastian? What? That's something that can happen? I didn't.
Yes, it's something that can happen because look at if you don't jump on this opportunity, he's gonna be gone. Some other girl's gonna snatch him up. You don't get any younger.
That definitely. And then Sebastian brings a date to her birthday party, and she mentally spirals.
Oh no! What is the activity then?
The opposite of something healthy.
The opposite of something healthy. Okay. I mean,
she's
is that gonna be a...
gonna throw herself into work.
Stay on the case thing? Or improve a skill or stat? Oh, we talked about that before. Your attempts to improve your power stat.
Yes. She'll do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Roll power and fail. You did it! You failed your power check. You now have a power of 12, which means that your sanity cap will be a 60 instead of a 55 if you want to keep with your... But, of course, because you do this, I'm afraid your bond with Sebastian will go down one step, right? Because he had a date.
Yeah, how dare he?
And now you can't really talk to him properly, and that's all awkward, and you don't know what to say anymore, and everything is tricky.
He's dating someone? How does... She's basically bribing Tony to talk to Sebastian and find out who is this woman, what's her name and address. Can I frame her for crimes?
I'm gonna frame her for cyber crimes, even though she doesn't have a computer. Oh my goodness. Talbot is gonna use her time in the FBI much more lawfully, isn't she?
Assuming therapy hasn't been outlawed, yes.
It hasn't, yeah. You can gain 5 more sanity points from therapy. Is that what we're doing again? You're just pumping that sanity. That's what we're doing here. All the therapy all year round. It's almost been a year since you were down. It has been a year since you were down in the Delta. And I think it's starting to, fade a little bit. Roll a luck check for that therapy. And it works again. Yeah, you're on a roll here. Okay, D4 sanity points.
Yay.
Yeah. $378 sanity points. You have really improved. Is it gonna be Mom that goes down again?
Yep.
Oh
I
my
have
God.
really had. No, wait, no, actually, it's gonna be Finley this time.
Finley? What has Finley
Yeah,
done to deserve this?
he started talking to his ex again, and Phryne is really protective of Finley's daughter, so she's like, "No, don't do that, dumbass."
Dude, you don't get to tell me about my love life, thank you very much.
She went to jail.
She's getting better. She's straightening her life out. You gotta give her a chance when she comes out.
No.
Yes.
No.
That's what compassionate people do. She needs to have, and you know, her kid needs to have a mom.
I didn't need my mom, and I turned out fine.
Did you? Finley just kind of glares at you.
Just walk away. I'm done with this conversation.
I hear everything is going great. Yep, everything is going great. All right, so we're getting to the fall of the summer, really. Summer, fall, that kind of thing, of 1992, where we have Death Becomes Her, Unforgiven, The Last of the Mohicans, Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'm sure everybody's watching that one. A Few Good Men. There's some pretty neat movies, right?
I
Right?
like to imagine she's talking to Sebastian, calls her up. So we're going to go see Dracula, right? And she's like, "You're not going to be your girlfriend?" But yes, we're going to see it.
I don't know. Is Sebastian going to go with his girlfriend or not? Will he break up or not? I don't know. Anything is possible. Maybe you should roll a luck check about that. If you're lucky, he breaks up with her because she was terrible. Maybe he breaks up with her 'cause she's terrible. Yeah, they were together for 2 months before they broke up. It didn't
Listen, she's gone, and now I have at least another 6 months before I have to worry about if I'm going to date Sebastian or not.
Meanwhile, Bill Clinton is running for president. And what else do we have? Oh, Ruby Ridge, yes, in August. The U.S. Marshal Surveillance Team starts Ruby Ridge in Idaho, and Randy Weaver is wounded, and it's a mess, an absolute cluster mess. So it's an 11-day standoff, and Randy Weaver surrenders to FBI agents. An FBI sniper killed Weaver's wife during the siege, and right-wing fringe groups like militias point to this incident as a clear example of outrageous and actionable behavior by the federal government. And this is raising the profile of right-wing fascist hate groups. So I'm sure that we'll be working with that a little bit, because they might be making bombs, right? Terrorist in 1992 means fascist, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know that any of the others will be working very hard with that stuff necessarily, but I think maybe Talbot will be drafted into that particular pursuit. So we're gonna get ourselves into the fall and winter of 1992. Fenton, what are we doing? Long silence. are muted.
Hey, how about that?
Yay!
So this time, Guy and Fenton have been getting at it. As Fenton started this obsession a year ago, and it's really starting to concern everybody. And he's been snapping at Guy at work, and they've been having some troubles until finally, Guy has told him that he's going to take a short leave of absence.
Oh,
That he needs to take a break.
okay.
And I'm going to do the.
Back to nature, yes.
So he's going to go on a. He's going to take some new books with him and go on a bird watching expedition. Just think about the past year.
That makes sense, yeah. And get away from all the media about all the presidential racing and stuff. And then in 30 years or so, you're going to look back on the presidential race of 1992 as a sane one, as opposed to the one in 2024.
You're saying I'm going to make it 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. I'm optimistic. Roll a sanity check. We're going back to nature. That works. That is a D4 sanity to you. Nice.
4.
76.
And Fences comes to the realization that he is letting this get away. He still believes that what he saw is real. Those monsters were there, but he went 28 years without ever seeing them. He hasn't seen any tide of it, and look what it's doing to him now, and he needs to get this under control before he lets it consume him.
He needs to get his stuff together. What bond goes down by one step?
That was going to be Guy, because that was going to be them getting into fights before he went on this leave of absence. And Guy finally, he's the one like, okay, you're done. You're taking a break. Come back in a few weeks.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be bad enough to get a suspension, but it's going to be an enforced medical leave.
Exactly. It's one of those things where it's, hey, look, you needed some time. Things are stressful at work. That case really messed with you. You're not handling it very well. How about you take some time off before something serious happens and come back?
Yeah, that makes sense. You're now 9 points away from your maximum sanity.
That is much more comfortable than where we started.
Yep, it is, isn't it? So that was Fenton. And that brings us to Bridget Luca, who is going to do what this September 1992?
She is going to September. She's in DC. She is going back to nature because she lives across the hall from Sebastian, and she's still upset with him for having a girlfriend. And so she's forcing her brother to go look at the fall leaves in New York with her.
Tony's like, okay. And when we watch the fall leaves, we can go clubbing?
Yes.
Good. Okay, I'm in. Roll your sanity check. Let's see. Really? Wow. Okay,
Please.
you're back to nature.
Why did I ever go outside?
You should never go outside. You
went outside.
You did go outside. That was the mistake. Roll a d4 for losing sanity.
Oh no.
Yeah. When you're outside, you're so upset you can't think of anything else but Sebastian. You're talking about Sebastian all the time. Also monsters.
It's his fault I'm outside.
And then every once in a while you wake up in the middle of the night screaming, monsters! Or the green skin! No, the gray skin! The claws!
Also bought a shotgun.
Yeah, Tony is worried about you now. That's not good. I guess going clubbing helped because instead of losing 4 sanity, you only lose 2, thanks to all the alcohol you're drinking. Shall we guess that the bond that goes down is the one to Sebastian? Because we're not talking to him right now because of his girlfriend.
Yes.
That he has
Also,
dumped. Because that's
also,
rational.
I got mad at him for a girlfriend and then went clubbing.
Oh, DeLuca ends up with a one-night stand in New York. Obviously. Right?
Yes, and I will pay Tony to never mention this.
Tony will never mention this. He will smirk and, yeah. What does the one-night stand look like?
disturbingly like Sebastian. Went on the closest Sebastian looking like she could and was like, yes, this is mine now.
What does Sebastian look like? I don't know. We don't know that yet. Do we need to find an actor for Sebastian? How is Talbot's love life, if any?
Similar to DeLuca's, mostly short one-night stands. Just nobody gets the job of working with the FBI, seeing all of this horrific stuff, not being able to really place it. She's definitely feeling like she gave her entire life to this country. At this point, nobody's going to want to settle down with her to have kids. She's going to die without a legacy. She has no siblings. She's let down her whole family. She gave everything to the country. And what did it give her? A therapy bill. Speaking of which.
You're going to take more therapy?
Yes!
And look at you go! Critical success! Okay, you know what? That's actually great for you. You win 4 sanity points, but you can only win 2 because that's how far you go with your power, right? But you also gain a new bond. Your therapist. At a 6. What is the name of your therapist?
Sorry. Dr. Hestia.
Dr. Hestia. Dr.
Did you
Hestia
just
is, yeah, very well.
Lucifer, your therapist?
That's-
Painting
yeah.
right on my wall.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing.
Yeah, you're doing great here with your therapist, and you've made so much progress that I think you've managed to put most of the scars behind you. You have no...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with that, she sends a letter to Fenton like, want to go look into the occult and get some power out of this?
And thus all my progress begins to maybe go back down the drain.
Go do magic crimes together.
That's gonna go great. Yes, that's what we want to do. What bond goes down when you are doing this? Is it gonna be Mom again, or is it gonna be Finley?
Mom. Again.
Oh my god, I haven't talked to you I haven't seen you in the flesh for years. Friday,
Maybe you shouldn't have moved to Florida!
Friday, you should come down here. We have the perfect place, always sunny. If you come down for Christmas this year, you're gonna be treated to a real Florida holiday. We're gonna go swimming. We can do some shark watching, scuba diving, everything.
All the guys in Florida are really old, though. None of them are hot.
Unless you come for spring break, in which case... Of course, the spring breakers will be like 5 years younger than you.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just trying to get on her nerves. Yeah, I like them young. Then I just hang up the phone.
Ah. Oh.
At this point, she knows it's beyond repair, so she's just now breaking it just to get some joy out of it.
As a warning to the player, if the bond reaches 0, you have to roll a sanity check for helplessness.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have done that.
Maybe at some point you want to have a chat with your mom, but I can see it go downhill a bit here, and maybe you're going to miss this Christmas too. Speaking of Christmas, Mr. Fenton, this is, after all, the year when... Oh, the video game Mortal Kombat is released! DeLuca?
Yes. I will destroy Sebastian.
Yes, you will. What else? Oh, does anyone go to vote in November 5th?
That's well, he's patriotic. It's a civic duty.
Yeah, okay. Clinton or Bush or Perot.
He's gonna vote for Bush.
Alright, yeah. Unfortunately, he's defeated. The DC Electoral College votes go to the Democrats, which is normal, to be honest. Oh, The Bodyguard, starring Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston, debuts. And Aladdin, of course, which is going to be the big Christmas movie, obviously. Oh, UNITAF in December. That's the United Nations Task Force peacekeepers who are going to make sure that humanitarian aid is distributed and establish peace in Somalia. I'm sure that's not going to go wrong in any way, shape, or form.
Fenton is very excited to see their inevitable success.
Inevitable success. Yes, that's exactly what it will be. Fenton's Christmas of 1992 is going to be like what?
He's realized what was saying to him, and he's going to take it to heart, and he promised that he was going to see somebody, so he's going to see somebody.
All right. It's therapy time, is it?
Yeah, it's therapy time.
Okay. That is going to be a luck check, though. For you, it's actually going back to nature is actually better. Unless you crit the roll with your therapist, because then you get the bond for the therapist as well.
Yeah. Going back to nature is better, but I don't know. I feel like narratively it makes more sense to do this.
It does make sense, yeah. Okay, luck check. Let's go. Fenton.
All right.
He has some work to do to get up to his X. Nice job. D4 sanity to you. It was something. Everything is something. What bond are we neglecting this year?
The Arcanum Society, because the therapist thinks that maybe it's the best I don't attend as many meetings.
Fair enough. Yeah. Halverson will call and, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Fenton. We're going to miss you. Merry Christmas to you. And hope you enjoy your holiday season. Yeah.
You as well. I'm really sorry I missed the Christmas parties here.
So are we. DeLuca! What is your Christmas gonna be like this year? Did she go vote in the election?
Yes. Her sister's involved in politics, so she's gotta.
Okay. Clinton or Bush or Perot?
Bush.
Yep, he lost.
There's something about Clinton. I don't think our president should know how to play a saxophone.
What?
It disturbs me.
It's not presidential, is it? Yeah. A new young leader in the White House. What are we doing for... Are we gonna go to therapy or... Because you did raise your power to increase your sanity.
Yeah. We're going to therapy.
Okay, here we go. There's so much therapy going on between these three guys. Well, that one failed. That's sad. No rewards given. But on the other hand, you lose a point of a bond. That's an... Who is it this time?
I'm gonna say Tony, because he's been really holding it over my head. The whole events in New York.
Just a little bit. And then we went to New York and there was this guy. And I'm not saying anything.
Like, every time I'm in a room with Tony and Sebastian, my stress levels so high.
He's like, what happened in New York stays in New York. And he just looks pleased as punch. Meanwhile, Sebastian does get a new girlfriend. Because you failed the luck check. I rolled it.
I might need to go to New York again.
You might. Talbot, how is your private life going? Better? Worse?
I'd say I'm gonna choose the repair relationships option.
Yeah?
Gonna head down to Florida to spend the holidays with my mother.
Oh, she is just hugs all the time.
Maybe find someone my own age to date. I don't know. Probably doesn't end well.
Maybe. That would be establishing a new bond, but we can do that in the next quarter too, so who knows?
Yeah.
Why didn't you roll a sanity check? Yeah, let's see if you're repairing things with Mom.
Sanity.
You are not repairing things with Mom.
Yeah, I just picked up this new nice book, Secret History, and she keeps interrupting me while I'm trying to read it. It's not doing well.
It's, what was it? A +1 anyway, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't know. The turkey was okay.
the turkey was okay. Yeah, the turkey was okay. She appreciates, but that she appreciates you coming down, and she's trying to spoil you with all the things. And you have finally met your stepdad properly, and I don't know, maybe he's a bit of a smarmy rich guy that is hard for the different social classes. You're a bit more intellectual, and he's money and stock markets and more money, and look at my nice boat. And it's all the items that he has and very little of the thoughts that he has. And I have a feeling that you, as a person who is very good at human and working with things, is maybe not so impressed with that. Oh, I have no idea how this boat works. I have a mechanic who deals with that for me.
Yeah, he probably wasn't too excited that the favorite gift she got was a book.
Probably not. Why don't you roll a luck check? Let's see if you meet someone in Florida who could become boyfriend or girlfriend material. Ah, look at that. You might meet someone in Florida who could become partner material. Maybe. At least you went out with... Oh, is this like your step-siblings? You went out with your step-siblings and met someone? On a bar? In Florida? That could happen.
Yeah, maybe.
Very well. Happy New Year, everyone, because it is now 1993. Crazy how time flies, right? And this year is going to be the best ever. A new president coming in, new leadership, new everything cool. Oh, there's a big robbery! An armored car depot in Rochester, New York. The 5th largest robbery in U.S. history. Get away with $7.5 million. And IBM is losing a lot of money too. Bill Clinton is sworn in, of course. Super Bowl 27. Buffalo Bills versus Dallas Cowboys. Anyone watching?
Nope.
Nope. Just nope.
Yes, and I'm continuing my avid support for the Buffalo Bills. Still just to annoy my brothers.
He's gonna cheer for the Dallas Cowboys, and he's gonna have a field day because obviously the Buffalo Bills will lose again.
I'm gonna root for the other team just because I don't want Old Bill to win, and I know Old Bill and the Buffalo Bills are united somehow.
Now we're getting some work for you in the FBI. February 26th, the 1993 World Trade Center bombing in New York City. Hi, Talbot. You're going to New York.
Hello!
There's no doubt you're going to New York, is it?
Yeah, I think I sent an email ahead to DeLuca. Hey, wanna say hi? I don't know. I'm in the area, I think.
Absolutely, yes.
Wanna go do magic crime?
No, I want to go do romantic crimes.
Okay, maybe we can see if there's a common ground there somewhere.
Magic occult crimes. Magic.
Yeah,
magic
occult.
Romantic magic. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Love potions, maybe. I don't know.
Love potions, definitely.
Yeah.
February 28th, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms agents raid the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas, which absolutely does not end terribly.
Not at all.
That one.
Yeah, it's going to go on for 51 days.
Fenton probably would have been involved. I mean, I know the FBI came in after the ATF botched the initial raid, but given his background with studying cult and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, 4 ATF agents and as many as 10 Branch Davidian cultists die near Waco, Texas during the initial attempt to service a warrant to the cult leader. And then FBI kills. It results in the killing of 93 cult members at the end of the standoff.
One of my teachers was actually one of the ATF agents of Israel.
Wow. I think you're about to get busy. There's more things, like the 2 CIA employees are murdered outside Langley. And Steve Jackson Games wins its lawsuit against the Secret Service arising out of the seizure of computers and other property. I didn't know the Secret Service did that to Steve Jackson Games. A special agent of the Fish and Wildlife Service disguised as a gorilla arrests a Mexican zoo director in Miami on charges of purchasing an endangered species without proper license.
Can we recruit that guy to Delta Grid?
Yeah, we need to.
Can I have been there to see it?
The Great Blizzard of 1993 strikes the eastern United States, bringing record snowfall and other severe weather all the way from Cuba to Quebec. The storm kills 318 people. And then later in March, 65th Academy Awards with Best Director and Best Picture to Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. In April, you have the Great Flood of 1993. The Mississippi and Missouri rivers flood large portions of the American Midwest. What else? Very importantly, the Montreal Canadiens win the Stanley Cup. Canada brought home the cup. This is important, you guys. Very important. The Unabomber injures computer scientist David Gellanter at Yale University. You're having a busy 6 months, don't you, Talbot?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Movies coming out in 1993. That's going to be a lot of cool stuff. We have Aladdin, A Few Good Men. We have, let's see now, Falling Down, Indecent Proposal, Cliffhanger, Jurassic Park. Someone is going to watch the Jurassic Park, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because the special effects are amazing. Can't deny that. Fenton, what are we doing the first quarter of this year, 1993?
First quarter, we're sticking with therapy.
More Sanity.
That's right.
Therapy.
Nope, not gonna help this time though.
Oh,
Critical failure, the opposite.
Oh,
gods.
you should have stayed outside.
You should have
stayed outside.
Wouldn't have helped in this case, though. Yeah, that's not so good. 88.
Loses one on a fumble.
It's a fumble, and it's let's see now. If it fumbles, you lose 1 sanity. Okay, not too bad.
And you know, the falling out I had with my therapist, I'm gonna take it out with my sister. She thinks I should stay in it. I'm getting mad. This isn't working, obviously.
Clearly, this isn't working.
She'll be the one I lose.
But you haven't. You need to find a different therapist then. Therapy works. I'm telling you.
Maddie, this is a waste of time. Okay, I'm too busy. I'm wasting too much time doing this.
It really isn't waste of time. You need it.
Look,
You know. You
I told you I'd give it a try. I gave it a try. It didn't work. Let it go.
Fine. And then you say fine, and then the two
fine.
people just.
And I slam my door like we're kids again.
Exactly.
She's jackass. I'm the one in the bedroom. This is your house. Yeah.
Oh my God. Bridget DeLuca, do you have any lucks this winter of 1993?
Let's find out. Where?
Find out. What are we doing?
We're
doing
going back to therapy.
Yes, of course. All the best people are doing it. What in the 9 hells?
Therapist had it with our bullshit.
Clearly. Wow. Okay then.
Pushed into that therapist's office, and I'm like, you don't understand.
Slam runs away.
I
Oh my
got
God.
drunk with Sebastian, and I don't remember what happened. We were eating, we were drinking, and then I woke up.
Oh, so you're now 11 to Sebastian, is that it?
Yes.
And Sebastian
don't
doesn't
know.
remember either, and it's super awkward, and what did we do? I
We're
didn't...
both just like, oh no.
Or maybe... I don't know. I got a class to catch. Bye. So awkward. So awkward afterwards. Just so awkward. Maybe you had a one-night stand with Sebastian. Or maybe you didn't. You have no idea.
Not a clue.
Not a clue. Talbot, how about you? You have started repairing your bonds with your mom, which is great. She's very pleased. She hopes to see you again. What else can we wish for here?
I am going back to Florida to repair that relationship even more.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold off on investigating the occult because the invitations for the weird cult that I've sent out have not been responded to yet.
My
Clearly
therapist was very insistent that I do not respond under any circumstances.
Don't worry, follow me into the forest. Let's overthrow the government with spells.
There will be candy in the forest. No, wait. That's for kids. Oh my God. Okay.
There will be history textbooks in the woods. There will be Microsoft in the woods.
I don't think you use... Your computer science doesn't exist. You have no idea. Okay,
There
let's
will be
repair
a
relations
Bluetooth.
then. Roll a sanity check. Wow! How do you miss a target of 80 twice?
No.
It's slowly getting better. Slowly.
At least it wasn't a fumble.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a fumble, so that's something. Okay then. But then I have to ask you guys about what we're doing in May. Why is it suddenly snowing in May? I guess it's a freaky May then. I don't
We're
know.
living the worst timeline.
Yeah, the worst. Exactly. Fenton, have we given
Yeah.
up on therapy here? Just go back to nature and do it instead?
No, it's all a waste of time. There's too much going on. After the debacle of the Waco siege, everybody involved went through a new training program. I'm going to actually improve my humans and forensic skills.
You can improve one of them.
I thought you could do two. I might be wrong.
What? Is this also a difference in...
So I looked at my book, and my book apparently is dated, give me 1 second, 6 printing 2024.
Oh, that's why. I need a new book. That's not fair. Mine from 16, see.
I could definitely lose this book to your email later.
Improve a skill or stat. So apparently it's improving 2 skills then. Okay
Yeah,
then. Let's do that. Makes
All right,
sense.
2 checks, and then each one that succeeds, I think, you lose a bond for. Is that correct? All right, it's the failure if you... Or what is the word? Hold on.
No, I think you just lose 1 regardless, because increase 1 stat or 2 skills, and regardless, so you're gonna lose 1 point in a bond.
All right.
Nope.
Bam.
And nope. You learned nothing.
God dang it.
Everything is just old hat to you. You've been through it before. Is it the Arcanum again?
No, I mean it's gonna be Maddie.
Maddie?
You know, we're still arguing about all this, and instead of talking to her, I'm not saying I've got all the training stuff. We're not talking about it, which is just making things more frustrating. She really thinks I should go back. I'm not listening to her.
Yeah, no, you do need to go back, Bri.
I've started going back to meetings with the Arcanum Society.
I don't think all of that stuff is good for you. It's like an obsession. You need to have hobbies is one thing, but obsessions aren't good.
I am even going to answer that invitation from Was it Talbot with us do magic crafts?
Yeah, let's do magic
Yeah,
together.
I'm going to reply to that email.
Unfortunately, the hypergeometric formula that you had access to in Monsters of Their Kind are no longer accessible because the book is gone.
That's okay. I've been doing a lot of Google.
Yes.
Google library.
Well, Google in 1993 is maybe not the
Yeah,
big
the
thing.
library version of Google when they were all
Yes.
books and stuff.
Yes, that would be it. Yes. Yeah, because 1993 Google isn't.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't think even Yahoo existed yet.
Yeah.
Bridget, what are we doing for you here?
It's birthday time again.
Woohoo! Are you gonna get together with Sebastian finally?
I was thinking about it.
Are you gonna start dating him even? Because you could have a 14 and bond to him, and you're down to an 11.
Yes, we are going to try to.
Oh, you're
Date
dating
Sebastian.
Sebastian. That's so romantic. Roll a sanity check. Oh no. You do
See
need
how
to
this
increase
goes.
your sanity.
Oh no.
dear. It's a little bit of something. You have a 12 now to Sebastian. I guess you don't date yet, but you're at least hanging out more and getting a bit less awkward and watch. You went to Jurassic Park the movie together, didn't you?
We absolutely did.
Yeah, and he was like, and then the T-Rex, and then the raptors, and the...
No, see what happened is he was geeking out over the movie, and Bridget was like, "Aw, you're such a dork. I love you." And then realized what she said and fled the scene of the crime. And has not spoken to him since.
Sebastian, oh my god. Okay, does he get a different girlfriend? Yep, he gets a different girlfriend again. You went to see a movie and he was hoping, maybe he was hoping. You don't know. This is like one of these on and off again, will they, won't they situations. And they never communicate properly with each other.
Oh,
Missed
yeah,
opportunity
trust
to-
me. Like, everybody in my family is just ready to murder us at this
Yes,
point.
yes, they are.
My brother, Tony, is just, I might die if I have to stay around these people any longer.
Get a room and get a ring and get married already. You should have been married 5 years ago, says Tony, and just Talbot is doing much better, right?
Dragged down into the depths with me. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna study the occult.
Oh, you're gonna study the occult. So 2 skill checks then. Let's go. Occult, and what other skill?
Occult and heavy weapons, why not?
Heavy weapons? That's a bit
Dude,
random,
I
but
need a
okay.
forklift. I needed a forklift for this.
Heavy weapons is, yeah. If I'm in a tank, I can fire the main gun.
Like that meme. I'm in a tank and you're not.
Grenade launchers and stuff.
She's-
Okay.
She's preparing for the next time she encounters the occult.
That's fair. Okay, that's a failure in occult. Good for you. How about heavy weapons? After the whole Branch Davidian things, I can actually see this happening. It's a failure too. Roll 2d10. 1 for occult and 1 for heavy weapons. Alright, I'm gonna say 9 is your increase in your occult, and 2 is your increase in your heavy weapons. Look at that! You have learned things. Meanwhile, a bond goes down. Who's gonna be? Mom? Or
Gonna be the dad.
It's gonna be Dad? None of your
Yes.
bonds are surviving this unscathed, are they?
No. He wants me to go to church. I'm not going to church.
Why aren't you
You
going
gotta
to
think the
church,
fire.
girl?
Tank and you're not.
You're supposed to go to
Feel-
church.
apparently having more luck with whatever god this is about, so you do you. I'm fine.
Oh, that's just... Can't turn against God, girl.
If God wanted my loyalty, he wouldn't have made me do all of this.
You're scaring me now.
Good.
Yeah, now he's worried. This is not good. Not good. What a heretical daughter he has.
Very.
Alright. What else do we have happening here for the rest of this year? We have lots of things going on here. We have a CIA case officer, Freddie Woodruff, is accidentally killed in Tbilisi, Georgia, during an attempt to kill the Georgian Minister of the Interior. ATF Director Stephen Higgins announces his resignation because of disputes over the findings in a report that criticized the ATF's role in the Waco fiasco. And President Clinton names retired Admiral Bobby Inman to take over as Secretary of Defense. Inman has served as Chief of the ONI, Director of the DEI, Deputy Director of the CIA, and Director of the NSA. Shuffling at the highest levels. We have sex abuse allegations against Michael Jackson. We have US President Bill Clinton announces his Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. We have Windows NT 3.1 coming out to release, which makes the Luca happier, right?
Yes. I don't need Sebastian. I just need computers.
A federal judge sentenced LAPD officers Stacy Kuhn and Lawrence Powell to 30 months in prison for violating Rodney King's civil rights. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is sworn in as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. The Mars Observer spacecraft, we lose contact with it. Very sad. Oh, Doomsday 2000. A new article is published by Canadian software specialists predicting the year 2000 problem. Peace accord in September. I'm telling you, everything is getting peaceful everywhere. Yasser Arafat and Yitzhak Rabin. I'm sure it means peace forever between PLO and Israel. No problems between Palestinians and Israelis and ever again. We've solved it! What else do we have here? Oh, a large-scale battle erupts between US forces and local militia in Mogadishu, Somalia. 18 Americans and over 1,000 Somalis are killed. If you watched the movie Black Hawk Down, you know what it's about. In California, actor River Phoenix dies. Windows 3.11 for work groups. NAFTA is, in fact, finally passing all the legislative bodies. And that is basically it. Hubble Space Telescope is getting repaired as well in the winter. What else do we have here? The Firm, Rising Sun, The Fugitive, Demolition Man, The Three Musketeers, which is the one with Charlie Sheen and so on. Mrs. Doubtfire, The Pelican Brief, thrillers. The Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton, yeah.
Immediately Fenton's favorite movie.
Speaking of that, what are we doing in late summer?
So he started corresponding with Talbot again, talking about the spooky magic crap stuff. So, maybe sometimes when we're in DC, we can meet up at the firing range and practice together. And I'm going to increase firearms, my small regular firearms, because I don't need a howitzer cannon. And I'm probably not going to get a Colt, but maybe firearms will go up. That'd be nice.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Alright, so let's see here. Bam, bam.
We've given up our attempts to increase the sanity, I hear, yeah. That didn't
No
work.
occults. Which I figure that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, firearms goes up.
I can fail.
D10. You're going to be
Alright.
decent at firearms by the end of this.
Maybe. We'll see.
Well, 4.
I'll take it.
Could have been
Yeah,
better,
now.
but could have been worse.
Sure could have.
Who are we not talking to these 3 months?
You know what? it's gonna be Laura.
Laura, you're roomy and everything.
Yeah, here's the thing. Who's this? Obviously, it's completely professional, but who's this gal that Brian out of the blue hanging out with from work a bunch more instead of going and hanging out with us or being at home for dinner or movies and talking about things? And talking about other people about the supernatural and creepy stuff? That's not cool.
So she's all, but maybe she's also away on doing field work, because as a archaeologist, she will be away and she has dig sites to go to and stuff. So maybe there's a combination here. You're working your things and she's away on a dig site and all that stuff.
Kind of drifting, busting each other.
Yeah. Also, Maddie, I was hoping that you and Laura would, you know, settle down at some point, maybe?
Look, the door's still open. It's just Laura's always away on her expeditions now, and I'm busy with work. And
the good news in the long run is, of course, that inside the FBI, they actually encourage you to make bonds with your colleagues. So if you're looking for someone to hook up with, maybe an office party would be a chance for you to develop a new bond with an FBI colleague that you could marry down the line. Yeah. That must be someone, right?
Fenton's not necessarily giving up on Laura. It's on and off again. They've been on and off maybe like 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, for sure. Bridget?
Therapy.
I can see why. Roll a luck check. You need it. And it works. A D4 to you. Congratulations. Some sanity back. You haven't had much luck with that. Wow!
That's incredibly rude.
That is incredibly rude.
That's just the sanity I got back from my therapist failing me last time.
You're back on your previous equilibrium. Yay. Okay, what bond is going down this time?
I'm gonna lose a point from Mom because I'm 30 now and I'm still not married to Sebastian.
That makes sense. Seriously? Yeah, there's going to be a stern talking to at some point. If I have to tell him to ask you to marry you, then I will.
No, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I dare. I'm looking out for my daughter, and she's practically a spinster by now.
I just turned 30. You're exaggerating.
I am not exaggerating. You just turned 30. You should have a 10-year-old by now.
Because you started having kids when you were 18 doesn't mean I had to.
I can see why this causes some friction. Talbot, do you have frictions as well in your life?
A lot, yeah.
But it won't be Finley because you're going to marry him, right? Or are you going to develop a new bond in the FBI or anything else?
Laura definitely stopped talking to that guy she met in Florida. Just no brains behind those eyes, and she just can't deal with that. Her mom's definitely mad because all she has are guy friends she's not marrying.
Yes. Trying to set you up with all the rich boys.
Yeah. Cora's just waiting for an office party, like, maybe we can make a friend or something, I don't really know.
Oh, so are we establishing a new bond?
Like a friend bond?
Yeah, a new bond, like a new bond with a character or a group.
Gonna replace the learning a skill?
Yes, establishing a new bond is a personal pursuit, yes.
Okay, now I'm gonna do the skill then.
Okay, skills.
Yeah.
What skills are we going for?
The occult and firearms.
Okay, not heavy weapons this time.
Nope, same as Fenton.
That's just sad that you're succeeding with occult when you have a 19. But the firearms failed, so a D10 in that. Nice. Okay, you are competent with a gun. But, okay, since your mom has been nagging on you to get, I guess that's going to be down to a 7 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just what happens. And with that, my friends, we are back to Christmas 1993. It's gonna be great.
Yay!
All celebrating your wonderful Christmases with what are we watching? The Pelican Brief? That's the Christmas
Nightmare
movie.
Before Christmas, obviously.
What was that?
The
Nightmare,
Nightmare Before Christmas, obviously.
Yes, obviously. Yes. Mrs. Doubtfire will come out soon too. Commercials on TV about that all the time. Fenton, what are we doing?
You know what? No, we're gonna. I think it's time maybe we try to turn things back on again. She's back home from her trips more. Things have been more relaxed at the office, and they've been staying in more instead of going out because of the weather. And watching The Nightmare Before Christmas every other weekend because we're obsessed. And I'm going to try to improve my bond with Laura.
Very well.
Reigniting the relationship again.
Yeah.
Only to inevitably fail. Okay, what's the process of this?
It's a sanity check, and you have decent sanity, so... On
Sanity.
the other hand, we've had a lot of dramatic failures too, so... But this is not one of them. D6 plus.
One.
Wow. That was a bit sad, but it goes up, doesn't it? It couldn't go up to more than 10 anyway, because that's your max for your charisma. Does this mean that you're changing a relationship to something more steady?
Yeah, as of right now, we are back on our relation, you know?
Oh my
Over
goodness.
Christmas, we've decided to try it again.
Girlfriend! Happy Christmas.
You know the saying, fourth time's a charm.
Yes, fourth time this is a charm. And Maddie is so happy about this, and I think Guy Fairfield will be pleased too, because you need something steady, even though she is out and digging a lot. Your shared apartment right now is just filled with artifacts from various digs and souvenirs from places she's been in the past couple of years. And I'm sure she wants to bring you on a vacation somewhere where you can see all the cool things that she has contributed with to various museums. Fenton is getting a happy life. And they lived happily ever after. Oh, no, they didn't they?
He's going to take us back on track just in time for the next operation.
Yeah, exactly. Bridget DeLuca, what are you going to get back on track just in time for the next operation?
Therapy.
Yes, good idea. You need it. And roll well this time.
Damn
Nope.
it. Need a new therapist.
You need a new therapist, absolutely.
Oh.
Did you win a... Yeah, I think you gain a single sanity for failing. But, yeah. But what bond goes down, though?
Say Tony, because he's still living in this horrible mess that is me and Sebastian.
And you haven't
And it's
settled
Christmas time,
yeah.
so it's so much worse. It's just a bunch of, like, miscommunications and...
and you gave him the wrong Christmas gift, didn't you? This year. And it's just embarrassing because you thought it was the right one and then it was the wrong one. And he's trying to play like he's happy, but he's actually not happy.
Accidentally mentioned, like, how I saved Fenton's life. And yeah, he made it sound like we were so close. And Sebastian's just, what? What's happening? What? Tony, I hate them.
Who's Fenton, anyway? Oh, God. Talbot, what's happening in the soap opera of Talbot's life?
Talbot just keeps remembering how she just stood there frozen, and Fenton and Blair... Blair? Blair. And Luca just almost died, and she just stood there and did nothing. So I think she's going to try to improve her occult and firearms again, just so that doesn't ever happen again.
Occult will go up this time, and firearms too.
Yay.
D10 for each. 9 for occult. Look at that. You have now 28. You've learned a lot in your free time. And 2 more for firearms. But in your free time, you're not hanging out with...
My mother.
Oh, your mother. You missed the Christmas again? She was like, I hoped to see you during Christmas break. And you were like, no, I'm not there.
Yeah.
Oh, sad. Sad story. But at least you're getting a new year. Isn't it great? 1994. We're so deep in the 90s now, you guys. It's amazing. These 6 months, amazing things will happen. NAFTA, President Bill Clinton meets the Russian President Boris Yeltsin, and everything is nice and peaceful. And then there's a huge earthquake in greater Los Angeles, which kills 57 people, and record cold temperatures hit the eastern US. You're gonna get down to minus 35 Fahrenheit in Indiana, which is the coldest temperature ever measured there. And then we have Super Bowl again, 28. Dallas Cowboys versus the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are trying so hard, my friends. We have... What else? Oh, Aldrich Ames and his wife are charged with spying for the Soviet Union. And United States F-16 pilots shoot down 4 Serbian fighter aircraft over Bosnia and Herzegovina for violating the no-fly zone. So apparently things are happening in Yugoslavia too, but I'm sure it's not a problem at all. US troops move out of Somalia, so that's over. Serial killer Dana Sue Gray is arrested in California in connection with 3 murders and 1 attempted murder of elderly women. And then there's, the 66th Academy Award with Schindler's List winning 7 Oscars out of 12 nominations. Anyone want to see Schindler's List?
Yes.
Definitely a picker-upper. It's exactly the kind of movie you want to feel better about the world. What else? Richard Nixon dies. John Wayne Gacy is executed in Illinois. Michael Jackson marries Lisa Marie Presley. Oh! Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman are murdered outside the Simpson home in Los Angeles. I'm sure that will not create a whole bunch of controversy in the future. The Lion King is released. The movie. And the FIFA World Cup is in the United States this summer. Isn't that cool? Who's watching the FIFA World Cup? Nobody? Okay.
Watching
else?
Lion King.
Obviously. The Clinton administration, you're going to be happy with this, DeLuca, because they're helping you and the FBI and the NSA to lobby the computer and telecommunications industry for standardization of encryption technology so you can break into it easier. The digital signature standard DSS and the Clipper chip were both designed by the NSA to provide a backdoor for law enforcement officers to crack otherwise unbeatable encryption. And the DSS is adopted by the federal government as its data security standard. And so on. Yeah, there you go. We're going to have this in the AT&T cell phones now with Clipper chips. Oh, Frank Corder dies by crashing a single-engine fighter into the White House. And Francisco Duran is arrested for spraying the White House with gunfire. He was attacking a strange mist on the White House lawn. That's what he said. So in this...
Do you think it was a green monster?
Probably.
They turn into mists. That's strange after they die.
Yeah. Mr. Fenton. Penultimate
Yeah.
choice here. You only have two activities left.
Things are going good for Benson. He's going to try and do the therapy session again to try and make it up to Maddie and maybe start repairing things with her.
We do the first thing, one thing first, of course. Are we repairing bonds or are we going to therapy?
Therapy.
Therapy,
Yeah.
very well. It's just not your thing, is it? Do you get even one sanity point for that, though?
No. If I told the truth, I would have, but if you don't tell the truth, you don't.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
But no bad relations. It's not for me. I'm sorry.
It's not for you. Go out to nature. Much better for you, clearly. Who is it going to be Maddie or Arcanum or...
Arcanum, because once again, the therapist says that maybe it'd be best to stop attending the meeting so much.
Yeah. And,
it's just encouraging the problems.
Yeah.
Which I don't really think is a problem, to be honest.
Right. I don't see how that's a problem. You're learning so much from attending those meetings, I think.
And I'm learning to control the obsession
right.
It all. You know, it's
I don't see the issue at all. Bridget DeLuca. Are you finally gonna get hitched with Sebastian?
She's gonna try one more therapy.
Yes, let's do it. Wow. You have no luck at all.
I think I hate this therapist.
Probably. This therapist is the worst. And what bond is
probably
going
have
down?
the same one.
Sebastian. Oh my god. Poor Sebastian. Is it because he got a girlfriend? Because he's closing in on...
I'm going to say Sebastian has just found out about New York.
Oh my god. Maybe he's getting a girlfriend. I think he's getting a girlfriend. To punish Bridget for New York. Yeah.
Healthy people who deal with our relationships in a healthy manner.
You absolutely the healthiest. Absolutely healthiest. Yep. Not talking to each other. Because who talks to each other anyway? Alright, Talbot. What is your penultimate activity?
She's gonna keep trying to improve her skills with or without Fenton's help. Like, relationships... What'd you say?
I'll help you on the weekends. A lot of time with this new therapist thing, they don't appreciate our talks.
Yeah,
I
it's just
think
like...
Fenton should just stick to go out to nature. Therapy isn't for him, clearly.
Yeah. Talbot's just completely given up dating because nobody understands what she saw in that room. And even...
Probably true, yeah.
And even Finley is starting to get a bit concerned with how destructive she's getting.
Nah, it's fine. Roll, yeah. But I can shoot the bang!
Yeah, you know when somebody from rural West Virginia is getting concerned about that, it's bad.
It is bad, it is bad. But you actually do raise both skills. Which is
Yay!
good. We appreciate that. Alright. D10 for each. 4 and a 5. And 4 goes into Occult, 32. And a 5 goes into Firearms, which now is a 64. You're a good markswoman. What about your bonds, though? Which one is going down?
I'd say Finley's is going down, just because of the whole getting concerned.
I was totally shipping you guys, and yeah, it didn't happen. The soap opera goes on, and right now we're at a low point, clearly, very sadly. But we have one more activity to do in May, which is in fact spring and not winter, but apparently it's snowing anyway, because, yes. Okay. I don't know why this weather generator always makes it snow in May. This is so weird. It's not a blizzard! Stop it. Okay, there we go. Fenton, last activity.
Laura's gonna be away on a trip, and he's gonna take some vacation of his own. He's gonna go back to his hometown of Arkham and just take some time to himself to reflect on everything the past couple years.
Back to nature it is.
That one is Sanity, was it?
It is Sanity, yes. That works. You gain a D4 points. You have no luck with those D4s, do you?
That's all right.
But at least you have some buffer between your sanity and the breaking point at this stage.
That's all I really wanted.
Where's the bond going down? Is it?
It's gonna be Fairfield, actually. Not for anything bad. It's just Fenton's been at the Bureau now for a couple years. He's able to work on his own much more often. Fairfield, he's higher up in the ranks, so he doesn't have the time as much anymore to speak and hang out. And just they've drifted a bit. That's all.
Yeah, that happens in life. Absolutely. Bridget DeLuca, final chance. Off and on again. I don't know. Is it going to be more sanity here, or is it going to be...
Listen, the wise choice would be therapy.
Yes.
But the dramatic choice is I forget what it's called, where you fix a bond.
Yes,
repair a bond.
Fulfill your responsibilities. Repairing your bonds. Is it finally going to be Sebastian?
Yes.
All right.
That's a sanity check?
It is a sanity check, yes. That's what's so scary with this. It goes up a step. So that's something. Or are you dating now?
Yes.
Okay.
It's her birthday. They finally have the moment, and it's still awkward, but they're like, fine, okay, we're doing this.
We're trying this. Yeah. That's nice. If you had critted that one, you would have actually gained sanity too. But you didn't. Okay, Cora. Final activity.
I'm going to improve my relationship with Finley.
Oh.
She thought about what he said, and he's probably right. And she's got a goddaughter to think about.
I will say, just for your information here, you
Mhm.
can't approve it more than 2 steps because your charisma is 11. So
Better than nothing.
it is better than nothing. All right, roll a sanity check. Let's see if you can repair your relations with Finley. And you cannot. It's a little bit. It goes up a little bit, but not by much, does it?
Yeah. I'd say she probably signs up. She tries to be nice and leave him as the beneficiary of her will, but it comes off as really morbid and doesn't help a lot.
Oh my god.
Kind of creepy.
Are you not even going by there and getting a beer together or something?
I think I do, but there's just one point where I pull out my will. Hey!
That's just creepy.
I know!
God. That is... yeah, I can see why there was a limited benefit to this. Yeah. Okay, let's see now. We are now in a place where Fenton is 31 and he is dating, and his family's hoping that they will actually marry finally. God dang it. Bridget DeLuca is 31 because she turned 31 already this year. And her family is hoping that she will finally marry Sebastian and settle down and have some kids, dang it. At least her mom is. And Mr. Talbot is wondering when he's gonna get grandkids, because look at you. You're 31 and all alone in the world. Oh.
Don't remind me.
I'm totally reminding you. Anyway, that is as far as we get this time. Next week, when we get back, there will actually be a case file. And I can tell you that we will never have a downtime as long as this one, because after this case file, maybe things will be a little bit more tight. Action ramping up is what I'm saying. And remember to comment on the stream, comment on YouTube, follow for all updates from ACEL and from Delta Green. And subscribe and press the bell icon and everything. We love all our followers, don't we? And Happy New Year to all of you. And I'll see you next time. We all will see you next time.